Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. I today have a video for you of how to install Renae's red snappers. Now these red snappers I did not get online, but you can find them online. I actually got them from Becca. So Becca, thank you so much because it's going to be super needed and super used. So big shout out to her. But I'm going to show you how to install the Renae's red snappers here in this video. But before I get to doing anything, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my quilting videos with your friends. So let's get to what we need to do. First off, you need Renae's red snappers. Now, when you order these, you can order them from SewingMachinesPlus.com. Okay? When you order these, make sure you tell them or type it into where you're ordering it from that you want a certain size. So my frame is 12 foot. You need to make sure that you put the 12-foot frame size in there. Say you have a 10-foot frame, write 10 foot. If you have a 14-foot frame, write 14 foot. And from my understanding, these only come in 10, 12, and 14-foot frames. So if you have an 8-foot frame or a little 5-foot mini frame, make sure that you have an ability to cut these down. They are plastic, so they're easily cuttable, but once you cut them, that's it. It's permanently cut. And if you need to, say, get a bigger frame and you want to keep these forever and use them in a different size, just know that you're going to have to save the rest of your parts so that you can screw them in or reorder them later. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we need to figure out where they're going to go and how they're going to go. We need to remove the cloth leaders. Now this is very important because if you don't pay attention to this step, you're going to mess yourself all up. We all have cloth leaders on our long arms. I'm going to not worry about my my quilt top bar right now. I'm only going to work with the bar that does my quilt back and the rear bar. So my belly bar and my rear bar are what I load quilt backs on. So what I need to do is I need to unroll these, but paying attention to the way they roll. Mine are rolling the picture side away from me. So it means I have wrong side up. On this back one, I have right side rolling out. This is how I would, if I loaded a quilt, this is how I want to take them off of here, and remember how to put them back on here. So what you need to do is unroll your bar, and most long arms are Velcro attached onto their bar. I think there's a gamble that I saw that had a slit in it and it slid this bar thing into it, and that's how your cloth leaders go on. But most newer frames like this, they all Velcro on. So you also need to make sure that you mark your Velcro the center. If you didn't do that when you first installed your Velcro on your machines for your cloth leaders, you need to make sure you mark the end on both sides of your frame where your cloth leaders start and stop, so that way you can put your cloth leaders right back on again. So after you've put a mark to remember where you're going to be pulling these off, I'm going to have Scott put the camera down so you can see that there is a mark here. That is where I want my cloth leader to start on this end. And then on the other side, I have that same exact mark as well as up on this top and the other side. So now we're just going to make sure you remember that you have your cloth leader going down that way. We're going to pull it off. This would be the same exact thing you would do if you want to wash your cloth leaders because they can get dirty. So I'm just going to take the whole entire thing off. The reason for that is because our cloth leaders don't come sold to put these in. You actually have to sew them. So the next step after we rip these off is to go and sew them. So we're going to go sew a casing. Alright, so now we're at the sewing machine, and what we need to do is make a 3/4 inch casing. So the side that does not have Velcro on it, we're not using the side with the Velcro, we're using the opposite side. Some cloth leaders already have a fold or a casing and a stitch mark. I'm going to be going inside of that casing, so I'm going to be making a new stitch line. So I want it to be 3/4 of an inch away from this edge right here. So what I need to do is take my ruler, because my base plate does not have a 3/4 inch mark on it, is I need to go 3/4 inch away from my needle like this and lay my ruler on that nicely. And I have a straight line already on my thing, but you just line your 3/4 inch line up at your needle, and then line the bottom of your ruler right here down with your machine or something straight. And then we're going to take some tape, some paper tape, because it comes away off really easily, and I'm going to bump that up right next to the ruler. And I hit the ruler, I'm going to put it right back where it was, and lay the tape, paper tape down for my 3/4 inch mark. That way it's on there and I can follow that line the whole time. And just for safety measure, I'm also going to use my seam guide, and I'm going to lay it on here down towards the bottom. And now we're going to take the casing that comes on, some cloth leaders don't, but some do have this fold. I'm just going to line this up now with my tape, which is 3/4 inch away from the needle, and along my guide, and I'm going to stitch a whole new line, except I'm going to change my stitch length to about a 2.6. It does not need to be super duper tight because it's just encasing a big long tube. So let's do that. So I'm just going to do a back stitch at the end so it's permanently there. And I'm just going to continuously keep this nice and straight and sew in a 3/4 inch
Should I move
casing.
the sewing machine there?
Huh?
Should I move that sewing machine?
No, it's fine.
Or kind of blocks everything.
Just holding it along this line, sewing it all the way. And we're going to do this to both of these. So I'll show you what it looks like as soon as it's sewn. You got to make sure that it's 3/4 inch, so make sure you do that measuring. And your cloth leaders are made of canvas, so make sure your home sewing machine has a 90-14 needle in it to sew through canvas. It's just a fancy cotton, a thicker cotton.
Will other needles break?
They won't break. This won't sew through as good.
Oh.
Alright. So I'm going to back stitch, and now see this orange line? I have 2 different color threads in here, so I can see this orange one. That's actually kind of good because they say that you need to be able to see a line to butt fabric up to once you have your red snappers in. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the second one, and I'll meet you back at the long arm.
I believe you're supposed to
Okay,
have
now that we have sewn, you can see my stitch line 3/4 inches away from the edge, and it goes all the way across the whole thing. Now we're just going to put our cloth leaders back on the way that they go. So I'm going to line my Velcro up on this end right here where I marked it, and I'm just going to nicely put my Velcro on all the way. You can see mine is upside down, but that is just the way it goes on. So I just finished by putting this whole entire thing on, because the next step you need your cloth leaders on for. Alright, just sliding it in. And the reason why I marked it is because even though I have a center mark on my cloth leaders, it doesn't mean I'm going to match it up with the center mark of each leader. So make sure that you marked those before taking them off, so that way you have an idea of where to put it back. And it should line up right back with the original area that you marked. And if you have to go back the other way and fix it, then go back the other way and fix it. Because it's not foolproof, let me tell you.
Does it matter which ones are front leader and which ones are back
Yeah,
leader?
they were marked before.
Yes, but if you forget to mark them or
If you
something,
forget
does
to
it
mark
matter?
them, mine is permanently rolled and it doesn't matter. Honestly, it shouldn't matter as long as you get them put on the direction that your cloth leader needs to be facing anyway for your actual loading. 'Cause
That's
you're
what matters, how it's rolled up,
You're
right?
still loading your quilts the same way as if you were pinning. So technically, just put them back the same way that they were. Doesn't matter which one goes where as long as they're in the same way. But after so long of rolling, this one went right back into a position that it's always been in. So now you can see normally it goes like this, but mine has always been rolled up like this. Okay, so that is back on, and I'm just going to use my hand to make sure that the Velcro is down, and then we're going to put the rear leader on now, which has writing on it because it is marked again. Right there. So this one goes on like this, and I'm just going to line this end up over here. I know I'm in the way of the camera, and I'm just going to come around to the back and slide the whole thing on with the Velcro. So I'm just going to move the machine out of the way. I'm just going to line that Velcro up, and I'm not like fully rubbing it down on the first pass over because you definitely want to be able to readjust if you have to. So get those cloth leaders back on, and we'll be right back with the next step. The next step is to open your package of your Renae's Red Snappers. And what we're going to do...
That we got from Becca. Thank you, Becca.
Yes. I'm going to hold this up to the camera so you can see. So these pieces right here are going to be the ones that you're snapping your quilts on with. These round ones right here are the tubes that we're pulling out right now. I'm on a 12-foot frame, so I need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I just need 3, 6. Because I'm only doing 2 of my bars right now. So here are 6 of those. I'm going to pass them to Scott, and I'm also going to dump out down here these connector screws for now. Everything else I'm going to keep in the bag. There is a thing of screws in here that look like this. They are double-sided screws. Pull those out. Those are what we need first. So we're going to take those, and we're going to take these. And what we're going to do, we're going to open the bag. Don't swallow the plastic. Don't let an animal swallow it. And what we're going to do...
It's okay, I'll get it.
Drop it on the floor.
I'll get it, don't worry.
We're going to take one of these double-sided screws, and we are going to screw it in here on one end. And if you can't do it, have someone else do it. So I'm just going to put one in and start it and send it off to the husband. And then I'm going to do it again with another one and send it off to the husband.
She's not joking.
And we're only doing 4 because the other 2 are for the other bars. We only need 4 for my 2 bars. You can go ahead and do all of your putting the red snappers on all of your bars. We're only going, so I can't get it all the way, but we're only taking this screw to the halfway point. So if you can see right here, there's a notch where they turn into 2 different directions. We're screwing to right there.
Let's pause it for a second.
So that you guys can see real quick, if you can't screw these by hand because they're very, very hard, take a pair of pliers. They look like this. Take a pair of pliers and then put your pliers on the end and twist until it is twisted on. Hold it nice and tight and twist the red part up because that actually works the best, right to the middle. So we're gonna stop it right here. There we go. So that much should be sticking out. Now is the part that everyone's like, what? Okay, now we're gonna connect two of them together like this. So now it's in, and now it's the opposite way. So we're screwing the other one on like this. So screw it on.
Whoa, watch the light, honey.
Screw it, screw it. I always say, screw it! It's a great saying, right? And now, one final end on both of these. We're just putting one final one, so I have 3 on.
Is that one screwed in all the way?
No, it's not.
Okay, well.
Here's all 3 if you wanted to show the 3 and I'll fix that one.
That's all 3
Yep,
already?
that's all 3.
Yep, she's
There's
on it.
pliers.
She's on
The
it.
other one is not screwed on all the
Yep,
way.
I'm gonna
All right, so all 3 are together, and Alexa is here, so she's helping. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna have Scott bring the camera now down to this other side, and we are going to stick this into that casing hole that we just created. That's 3/4 inch. So you're gonna open that little hole up that you just made, stick this in the hole, and now you're gonna start feeding it through like this, and it should go pretty smoothly. Just hold your leader at the same time, and it should go pretty smoothly all the way down if you sewed a nice 3/4 inch all the way. So just keep pushing all the way. Definitely developing the strength back in my hand. Get it all the way. It's not really that hard. Is it all the way to the end?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
right there. Yes.
Right at the end. So now there's one, and now we're going to insert my second one. Again, you can do all 3 of your bars, or you can just do the backing fabric. I always float my top, so I didn't see the need to do the top bar, but maybe in the future I will, just because I can now without having to pin a quilt top. So I'm just literally sliding this in the hole. I got 3 bars on my 12 foot, so all 3 are together. It's almost to the other side. If you have someone to help hold the cloth leader on the other end, that's a good thing, so it helps it go past the machine. Slide it all the way in,
Right there.
and it should sit right to the edge. I don't know how well you can see this, but it literally is at the edge. It is meant
I'm zooming
for,
in.
It is meant for a 12-foot frame for 3 of these to go together. So if you got a 10-foot frame, maybe it's 2 5-foot pieces for this whole thing, and this is 3 4-foot pieces or whatever. So now they're installed, and if you were to load a quilt, you could see at first they're going to be very stiff. So you can see it's kind of bowing a little, but it's because it's new and they've never been used. Like that. And we're going to take one of these real quick just to see. So now these next pieces is if you were loading. I'm not loading anything, but for the sake to make sure that everything worked, we're just going to stick, oh, this pops down so easily. Look at that. So you would put your fabric on here and you would line it up with your stitch line right here, and then you would just snap these on along the top, holding your fabric down, instead of pinning or however you were doing it prior to getting red snappers. So let's get this on here just so I could show you.
That's actually pretty neat.
Yeah, now you can quilt your quilt. Alright, so I'm just putting a really long one on here. I guess it comes with some long ones and some short ones. We're just pretending for now. Going all the way. They're kind of hard at first, so I probably won't be doing this every time. So it goes on, and then the quilt would be obviously loaded from under the side, and I'm pulling on it, and it's not gonna pull, it's not gonna pull the quilt top or the quilt back off of here. It's gonna be great. So, and when you're finished and you release your quilt, all you have to do is yank it right off, and the quilt falls right off. So no more pinning anymore. Thank you, Becca. And if you would like to find Renee's red snappers,
Show me
which
others.
come with small ones, long ones, little tiny 2-inch starter ones. They look like 1.5 inches, but they are probably 2 inches.
Was that in case
This
you
is
don't
for
want to do the
center.
whole,
No,
so you
this
can
is
just
for
do pieces here and there?
This is for centering. The little ones are for when you put your quilt on and you center it, you put these on first.
Ah,
And then you build however big with these
okay,
outward.
okay.
So they come with these. They're Renee's Red Snappers, thanks to Becca. And if you are interested in these, find out more by contacting SewingMachinesPlus.com, where you can find out more and order
Here's
these.
a demo.
And there is also demos on how to use them and so on the website. So Renee's Red Snappers. That's how you install them. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope if you get them that you really like them, because we're going to see soon if I like them, because I'll be using them every video now. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next video. Bye.